That's a
Well,
lot.
you know, coach, I had a coach who used to tell me, Coach Tibbs used to tell me, keep your house, is your house in order? Is your house in order? You know, you can do all the work stuff and all that stuff, but if your house isn't in order, then you can't do your stuff at a high level. So that was something that still resonates with me. Shout out Coach Tibbs.
Oh, there must have been lots of things that you learned in the game that can perfectly translate to life itself, even if you're not playing, right? So I guess these coaches they played a big part in your in you as a person, right? So were there any special ones that you would like to mention?
I'd start with I would start with Mr. Green, Tyrone Green in New York City, who was like another father figure to me, the one who made me believe that I could, you know, play at the next level. He always told, I'll take you to the next level. You know, I was a 13-year-old kid.
Wow.
You know, it's like, let's start with him. Like, he's like a real angel. Rest in peace, Mr. Green. Drink a little sip to him. Billy Donovan going to the Hall of Fame this year. Hall of Fame coach. You know, he was my college coach. Somebody I picked the right one. You know, coming out of high school, they're calling you which university you want to go to. You pick one this summer. This year, he's going to the Hall of Fame. So, shout out Billy Donovan, Irish, like tough motherfucker, bro. Tough motherfucker. Like, you lose the game, like he might knock on your door at the dorm. Like, come on, let's talk about it. It's like 2 a.m, coach. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what shapes you, right?
It does. Just the intensity.
Mm-hmm.
As you go up, it's like the intensity, the pressure goes more and more and more.
Maybe that's why you hate losing. I mean, the history of people who played with you, people who coached you.
I had a coach who said, shout out Papa Shy, losing needs to feel like a near-death experience. You're a kid, like, oh, shit. It's sick, but it works.
I see. How did it feel to get drafted for the Bulls?
Oh man, that was the best. That was one of the best nights of my life, man, because I grew up in New York City, and it was in the Garden, and you know, you're a kid, you're 20 years old, like you don't know where you're going. I want to go to Chicago so bad, and it just like everything worked out, and you're home. So you know, you see a lot of parents, like we go and celebrate with all the families. You know, for a lot of people, it's life-changing. You know, it's a life-changing moment for a lot of families that night. So it's like, just, I'll never forget that part. Like seeing families hugging, crying. Like the draft is it's a very special night.
I see. But you worked hard for that, right? So did you expect being drafted? Yeah, right?
I mean, you know, for most of the time, it's like nobody thinks that you're going to go to the NBA. Like, it's not like people thought I was going to go to the NBA when I was 15. No. It was like, I found out I was going to the NBA when I was 18. Like, no, I was like, 19, 20. Older. It's not like, I was phenomenal, like coming in, everybody, no. It was not that at all. It was work your way up, all the way up. Ball boy at the camp. You know, it's a long journey. I'm just happy that I got to develop in France playing basketball, develop in America and their grads. So it's just New York and Paris was where I got my education in basketball. And now you see in France, It's like the development of NBA players is we're getting 3 talents a year going into the NBA because it's a well-oiled machine. They're working. They have it right. Their training system's right. So that's what it takes. It's like investment.
And how about playing for the national team for France? How did it feel?
It's I have really great memories of playing for France. Unfortunately, I had I had some injuries, and that was so I had decisions to make. And when you're representing your country, I understand what that means to a lot. For me personally, like I'm not that patriotic, to be honest.
I see.
I'm not that patriotic at all.
There are I don't know if playing in the national basketball team in Brazil, I suppose it means more to a Brazilian than to an American player who plays for the NBA, because the NBA tends to feel I don't know, more competitive or maybe even bigger than, I don't know, the Olympics. Do you guys care for Olympics and stuff, or you're more like into NBA and stuff?
No, I mean, look, like the Olympics it's beautiful. I had a really tough moment. We qualified for the Olympics, and I had a really, really bad injury, and it was like, yo, you need to come back. I'm like, I had a real decision to make, and I wasn't right, So that's my story with it. So that's complicated. It's a regret, but it's like a decision that I had to make at the time.
I guess so. Yeah.
So
understand.
It's not, it's like you have a lot on the line. Like this is.
I see.
You only have a certain amount of time. It's like.
What were the first years in pro basketball harder than the last years? Because no.
I mean, when you're young, this is a young man's game.
I see.
To me, I mean, for me, it was like when I was a kid. When I was 23, I was running like a deer. I was a deer who never got tired either. I had 3 lungs. I had 3.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's the same for a football player, except for Romário. There is Romário here in Brazil.
Yeah.
He played up to 42 years or something.
Exactly. Tell me, I want to know, because I like Romário.
Well, he played. He came back from. I mean, we won the World Cup in 1994, and soon after he was here playing for my Flamengo, and it was so nice. That was a happy time for me, because Romário, he's different. If you don't tell him what to do, because he knows exactly what he used to know exactly what to do, and he is so nobody. I think there is Ronaldo, the phenomenon. I think this
number 1, by the way.
Yeah, he's number 1 right after Pelé, right? But he's number 1 I saw playing, But even him was not as good as Romário when he was in the, I don't know how you call it, we say grande área, No, in football there is that, como é que fala grande área em inglês, cara? There's a space in the pitch where, the box. Yeah, okay. So in the box, nobody's like Romário. Nobody has ever been like him, So it was amazing to see him play up to 42 years old, and he was incredible.
Wow.
So
shout out.
Yeah, but he didn't have 3 lungs, He was more like you just give me the ball, I'll do whatever I have to do to score, and it was incredible. Well, and you were good.
Who had 3 lungs?
3 lungs?
Who had 3 lungs in La Selección, like back in the day?
I would say Ronaldo did. Who else?
Cafu.
Well, yeah, Cafu. Roberto Carlos.
3 lungs?
Branco, 94. Yes.
3
yes.
lungs.
3 lungs. Well, there are some positions where you need to have 3 lungs, right?